Imagine a world where unseen forces govern the fate of humanity. A world where the invisible threads of good and evil, light and darkness are woven into the very fabric of existence. This is not a figment of your imagination, but the reality we find ourselves in. In this realm, there exists a constant interplay between these unseen forces. They are like two sides of the same coin, each influencing the other, each shaping the destiny of the world. The forces of good, radiant and pure, strive to nurture and protect life, while the forces of evil, shrouded in darkness, seek to manipulate and destroy. These dual forces are not mere abstract concepts, but real and potent powers that impact every aspect of our lives. They influence our decisions, our relationships, our dreams, and even our fears. They are the unseen hands that shape the course of history, the invisible architects of our destiny. Amid this cosmic struggle, there arises a prophecy, an ancient prediction that hints at a cataclysmic event. A prophecy that speaks of a time when the balance between light and darkness will be disrupted, a time when the forces of evil will attempt to seize control and plunge the world into chaos. This prophecy, whispered through the ages, has been passed down from generation to generation, its words echoing in the hearts of the wise and the brave. It is a prophecy that has been both feared and revered, a prophecy that has been the source of hope for some and dread for others. And so, this world, our world, finds itself on the precipice of this prophesied event, teetering on the brink of an unseen abyss. A time of uncertainty and fear, a time of hope and courage, a time when the unseen forces of light and darkness will clash in a battle for the soul of humanity. And so, with the prophecy foretold, the world braced itself for what was to come. For in the heart of this struggle lies the true measure of our strength, the true test of our character, and the true destiny of our world. In the heart of this turmoil, a figure emerged, a character of immense charisma and power. As if from nowhere, this individual stepped into the world stage, his demeanor captivating, his words hypnotic. His name was not known, yet his presence was felt everywhere. His voice, smooth as a well-aged whiskey, echoed through the airwaves, reaching every corner of the globe, his message resonating with a world in desperate need of hope. His charisma was undeniable, a magnetic force that drew in people from all walks of life. He was a master of words, a weaver of tales that painted a vivid picture of unity and prosperity. He was a beacon of hope in a world ravaged by conflict and despair. His speeches were laced with promises of a brighter future, a world where peace would finally triumph over war, where love would conquer hate. His influence spread like wildfire, touching the hearts and minds of millions. He was hailed as a savior, a leader who would pull the world from the brink of destruction and usher in a new era of harmony and progress. His vision of a new world order was met with resounding approval, a world where every man, woman and child would live in peace, free from fear and want. But this was no ordinary leader. This was a man with a plan that would change the course of history forever. His mission was not simply to unite the world under a single banner, but to reshape it according to his design. His vision was grand, his ambition limitless. He spoke of a world where every individual would have a voice, where every nation would be equal. He promised a world where justice would prevail, where the weak would be protected and the strong would serve. His words were compelling, his promises alluring. Yet behind these promises of a utopian future, there was a sense of something more, something not quite right. There was an undercurrent of uncertainty, a whisper of doubt that echoed in the back of our minds. With the world in his grasp, the character set his plan into motion. As the world watched in anticipation, a new chapter in our history was about to begin. A chapter filled with promise and peril, hope and fear. The stage was set, the pieces in place, the game was about to begin. But not all were swayed by his promises. A group of individuals saw through his deception. In the midst of chaos and confusion, a band of unlikely heroes emerged. They were not swayed by the veil of deceit. They saw beyond the glitz and glamour, beyond the promises of prosperity. They were ordinary folks, just like you and me, but they held an extraordinary resolve within them. They were the beacon of hope in an otherwise dark world. This group, let's call them the Guardians of Truth, were diverse in every sense of the word. They hailed from different walks of life, carried different beliefs, and spoke in different tongues. Yet they were united by a common purpose: to expose the truth, to unmask the deception, to resist the pervasive influence of the charismatic figure who had the world in his grasp. Their struggle was not an easy one. It was a path riddled with thorns, a journey filled with obstacles. They faced opposition from all corners, derision from those who were blinded by false promises, and persecution from those who sought to silence them. Yet they stood their ground, unwavering in their mission. Their determination was fueled by their belief in the truth. They knew that the path to liberation was not through blind compliance, but through the pursuit of truth. They knew that they were the last bastion of hope for many who were lost in the chaos. They rallied together, using their unique skills and talents to push back against the tide of deception. They strategized and planned, they studied and learned, they prepared and trained. They understood that their struggle was not just against an individual, but against an ideology that sought to suppress the truth and exploit the vulnerable. Their journey was not without sacrifices. They lost friends, they lost family, they lost pieces of themselves along the way. But they held on to their belief, their resolve only strengthening with every setback. Against all odds, they vowed to stand their ground. They were the guardians of truth, and their story is a testament to the power of determination, resilience, and unwavering belief in the truth. The battle between truth and deception was far from over. In the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, a group of brave souls continued to stand firm. Their adversary was powerful, a force that could sway the hearts of many with its cunning and charm. Yet they remained undeterred, steadfast in their conviction that truth would reign supreme. They were not warriors in the traditional sense, but their battle was no less significant. They were fighting a war of the mind, a struggle between the allure of deceit and the steadfastness of truth. Their weapons were not swords or guns, but courage, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the righteousness of their cause. Their adversary, though, was no ordinary foe. He wielded power that could control the minds of the weak and the fearful, turning them into unwitting pawns in his grand scheme. His charm was seductive, his words persuasive, and his power seemingly unstoppable. Yet they held their ground, refusing to yield to his manipulative tactics. Their courage was admirable, their resilience commendable. Each day they faced their foe with renewed determination, refusing to let their spirits be crushed by his relentless onslaught. Their faith was their shield, their hope their sword. They were the beacon of light in a world slowly being consumed by darkness. They knew their struggle was not in vain. The stakes were high, higher than any mortal could comprehend. The fate of countless souls hung in the balance. It was a battle they could not afford to lose. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for all those who were too weak, too afraid, or too lost to fight for themselves. They were the guardians of truth, the protectors of the innocent. They were the ones who dared to stand against the tide of deceit, the ones who believed that truth would eventually prevail. They were the embodiment of courage, resilience, and hope. They knew the road ahead was long and fraught with danger, but they also knew that they were not alone. Their faith, their hope, their courage, these were their weapons. And with these, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The truth, they believed, would eventually prevail. As the battle raged on, a revelation was set to change everything. This was not an ordinary disclosure, nor was it a simple twist of fate. It was a deep, profound truth that shook the core of those engaged in the struggle, a truth that reverberated through the hearts of those witnessing the unfolding events. The revelation was like a beacon of light piercing through the darkest clouds of uncertainty. It was a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and conflict, there is a higher purpose, a grand design that guides the course of events. This revelation did not merely change the course of the battle, but it altered the very fabric of their understanding. The impact was immediate and profound. It sent ripples across the world, forcing everyone to reconsider their place in the grand scheme of things. It was a moment of profound clarity, a moment of truth that demanded a response. In the face of this revelation, the world watched and waited.